All right, so welcome to another week of Coach and Athlete, the running journey. This is my road to the UTA 100K, where I'm showing you what I'm doing in training, but also what I actually do as a coach with all our athletes so that you can enjoy the journey and hopefully you can get some tips and tricks and learn some stuff about how to better your running, whether it be marathon training, trail racing, or just general road running or increasing your park run speed. So this week I'm on taper week 2. So not a whole lot of running this week. So the running I did do is more just quality style of running, but a little bit on the easier side. You've got to remember, I am racing next week an 80K trail race in the Australian snowy mountains. It's called the Alpine Ascent, 80K. So I don't need to be doing high quality interval training in my taper to hold some form of speed. So what have I done this week to build on my strength and base? My volume this week was down, so the ideal volume for me was between 50 to 70 kilometers, depending on what was going on during the week and depending on how I pull up after my quad conditioning session this week. The other thing I focus on in week 2 of my tapering is actually trying to eat less. Now that kind of goes against what most people would think I would do. Most people would think you want to eat more. My issue is maybe different for you. I tend to eat a lot of food when I'm bored and just pure eating out of boredom. And in the past, what I found was in the 2 weeks of tapering, I always put on about 3 to 5 kilos in just 2 weeks. Yeah, sure, I'd lose it straight after. My problem there is I'd roll up on race day carrying an extra 3 to 5 kilos. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but I'm telling you, it is. It's like putting 3 to 5 kilos of water bladder in your backpack and then running a trail race. You just wouldn't do it. So what I have tried to do is get all of my fuel, carbohydrates, all my calories via smoothies this week. So Monday was a day off and then I just rolled straight into Tuesday. All right, so here we go. On the way to the gym, I'm in taper week 2. When you do go into tapering, there is a tendency for your muscles to tighten up, shorten, and we call it taper mania or taper tantrums or taper tightness. There's a whole bunch of different terminologies for tapering. Now I always tell my athletes the way to get through this is once you start your tapering, stretching, foam rolling, half an hour a day. So instead of you running more, you're now foam rolling and stretching for the same amount of time. So given this week, I'll cut down to about 85, 90 kilometers instead of 160 to 170, which was a general week. And in that extra 5 or 6 hours, I will foam roll and stretch my way through the week to make sure that I'm not getting that tightening or where the muscles are so used to just being stretched and so used to being used. Now they're just shortening up and tightening. So it's time to get to the gym now and do a 1K on, 1K off hill running session. That's where I'm gonna go 1K flat, fast, then 1K incline, and then keep doing that until I finish. Wednesday, rolled on into our coaching, finished off all the coaching and then went straight out to the trails for my quad conditioning session. All right, so Wednesday morning here at Quarry Road in Sydney. It's a fire trail, got a bit of hill session to do today, but the focus is on downhill training. Why downhill? Well, I'm about 10 days out from my Alpine Ascent 80K trail race. What I like to do for a big trail race is really condition the quads. That way, when I get to the race and I'm 50K, 60K in, my quads aren't suffering like a lot of people notice when you do a big downhill in a race and you get to the bottom and all of a sudden your quads are gone and it's very difficult to run on flat surfaces. So what's a quad conditioning session? It's a session I learned back in 2014 when I did my first ultra. Basically you find a nice smooth downhill, preferably on trail or dirt if you can, not technical, because what you want to do is you want to run as fast as you can down that hill to the bottom. One down, 2 to go. You see, when you do these sessions, what happens is your legs, if you've got the right hill and you've got the right speed, by the time you get to the bottom, your legs, maybe not off the first one, but second and third set, maybe the fourth if you're doing 4, should start to feel like jelly. So start to feel really tight. You know you're doing this right if you've got sort of jelly-like legs and you've got to take like a couple of minutes just to reset. I like to try and have a drink at the bottom and reset, head on back up. So just usually I just do a slow jog up, but I'm trying to get a little bit of fitness out of this workout as well. But usually it's just slow jog up and then bowl all the way down. So have your drink and everything at the bottom. All right, here we go. The idea here is to really damage up the quads 10 days to 14 days out from your major race, and this will then help you repair and be very set like stone, ready for your race. And even now, 4 days later, I'm actually still really tender in my quads, and I've only got a week to go before my race. Now, a lot of people get nervous over that, but you've got to trust the process. Friday, I actually did a hill sprint session. All right, so this week's workout of the week is called the Hill Sprints Short, because I have a hill sprints long as well, but today, hill sprint short. First, we start off with a 15-minute warm-up, just a real slow jog. If you have to do stretches or anything like that, try and do it before the warm-up jog, or if you do it at the end, just pause your watch, do your stretches, you know, get everything ready. And I like to always pause my watch if I'm going to do that with about a minute left on my warm-up. Then the workout. It's basically 5 lots of 30-second sprints up a hill with a 1-minute jog back down. Then we go into 7 1-minute sprints up the hill with a 2-minute jog back down to reset. And then to finish off, wait for it, 10 by 1-minute 30 sprints up the hill with a 3-minute jog back down the hill. Now, what sort of hill do you need to find? I always tell my athletes, look for a hill that's between 7 to 10%, or if you're just starting out, between 5 to 7%. So what does that mean? What you do is try and measure out roughly how far you can run in a minute 30 up a hill. So let's say, for instance, that's 500 meters. What you then want to do is find a hill that's going to go up around 25 to 30 meters in elevation over that 500 meters. If you're only going to run about 300 meters in distance in the 1-minute 30, which is the longer set, you then look for a hill that's about 15 to 20 meters in elevation from the start to the finish. That way you can run at a good speed throughout the whole workout. Now, what is the thing that we measure on this workout? Well, specifically, we're trying to measure heart rate. The whole idea of this workout is in those 10 by 1-minute 30 sprints, you are pushing your heart rate past 85% and even up into 90%. If you can get your heart rate up into 90% for each of the 10K reps, you are on a real winner and you are nailing this. Sorry, I'm just getting flies all over me. You're on a real winner and you're nailing this workout. So what I like to do is I teach all my athletes, the only window that you really want to have on your watch is maximum heart rate percentage. Yes, you can have your heart rate there, but I always tell people, if your watch setting allows you to view the maximum percent, or view the percentage of your max heart rate, that's the best. That way, when you are busting a brain vessel or blowing out your vessels and your heart rate spiking and you can't think straight, you just look at your watch and you can see, am I at 80%? Am I at 90%? Am I 95%? Why is this important during the workout? Well, because if I'm running up a hill and I'm on my 1-minute 30 time split and my heart rate's only showing 80%, I'm not working hard enough. I need to pick up the pace and grind it out and get it up to 90%. That's why heart rate is so important on this workout. So why do we just focus on the heart rate and not the pace then, Wayne? Well, because this workout is developed to build up your fitness, to really amp up your VO2 system without the constant speed and damage to your muscular system on your legs. So it's kind of like speed work in disguise. So I'm going to go and do a warm up and let's get into this. So
when I do these hill sets, I like to get my drink bottle with electrolytes in it all the way through the workout. Even if I don't need it, it just sort of helps me get through the workout better. And what I do is I put it at the bottom of the hill, have a quick sip before I start each rep. So after rep 3, you should just be starting to warm into it now. One more rep to go of 30 seconds, then we're into it. All right, here we go, 1 minute sets now. This is where the real work starts and a lead up to the 130 sets. 5 seconds to go. 2, 1, let's go, 1 minute. Let's keep going. Almost finished the 1 minute sets and then we get on to the real hard work. All right, 2 more to go. And then we get it starts to get really hard. So if you're finding it tough right now, you will find it tough, but just keep grinding through, okay? Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Mentally right now, I'm just trying to think about the 130s and what it's going to feel like and trying to prepare myself. 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, so mentally prepped now, 1 minute 30. Here we go. guys. So 3 minute, don't forget, 3 minute recovery jog down is ample enough time to try and get your heart rate below 80%. That's what you're aiming for. It may not happen on your first time you start doing this, but after you do this once a week for about a month and a half, what you're gonna notice is that by the time you get down here, your heart rate will be down under 80%, maybe around 70, 75%. And that then allows your body to reset, so you take off again. All right, 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. If you've watched this video this long, bonus for you. Comment in the comment section, hill sprints, and I'll send you a link where you can download this workout, the GPX file, so you can just upload it straight into your wearable, your Kuros, your Garmin, your Sunto, and everything's gonna come up on there. It's gonna tell you what to do. Notes pop up so you can read the notes while you're doing the workout. It's almost like I am running next to you. By now also, you should be feeling a lot of lactate in your legs. With a funny feeling on the way down, it all disappears, and then when you get to the bottom, it's all gone. That's the whole idea. Get the lactate up, get it out, get it up, get it out. My calves are tweaking. Look at this. It's pulsating. Look at that. My calves are just pulsating. Oh, it's like my heart's beating in my calf muscles. Saturday, took a day off. Decided, you know what, I don't want to sit around, so I went for a swim. I still had sore quads, so I got in the pool just for about half an hour. Did about 600 meters of swimming. I have not swum for quite a while. A lot of my athletes have taken up swimming and they're getting into triathlons and duathlons and different things like that. So more out of interest, I wanted to see what it was like and what's happening when they're doing the swim, and I'll be honest, it was actually quite hard. And that just left me with Sunday, obviously finishing off the week. I decided to coach an athlete. Okay, right now it's 5:45 Sunday morning, just on my way to do a interval session with a client. I'm at the end of my second week of tapering, so I haven't really done a whole lot of interval sessions or speed work at all this week, and I am running with a client, so though it's fast, it's not my interval speed, which is okay, so that'll be fine. So this morning, look, it is still warm. It's 24 degrees. It's quite humid outside. There's a sprinkle of rain happening, so I would expect my athlete is going to find it a little on the tougher side. He's doing 8 by 800 meters today, so it's 8 by 800 meters, all at a 1 to 3k rep pace, so it's all out for him with a standing rest in between, and obviously warm up and cool downs. But it should be good. It should be good just to spin the legs a little bit, encourage my client, encourage him as we go. I like to do this with athletes from time to time. It gives me a good opportunity to be able to see where they're at, to hear their breathing, look at their form, and assess where their training's at, because I'm running next to them and just doing a constant assessment for like an hour and a half.
So that was my week in full. Wasn't the biggest week of volume when it comes to running, but what it was quality on spending some time with the athletes. Now next week, I'll be doing the same thing, just trying to get out there with a couple of athletes while I'm in the taper, and only do about 20 Ks during my lead up into the race. So next week's video, stay tuned. That's going to have 2 athletes plus the race breakdown. With the race, I've got my son coming out. He will be on an e-bike for the whole 80 Ks, basically chasing me around, getting all the footage, as well as he'll be going from aid station to aid station, crewing me and getting all my nutrition ready before I arrive in the aid station. So hopefully we'll see you on the back end of that one. Now, if you're looking for ongoing inspiration in your running, feel free to follow me on Strava, as it's where I post all of my running advice and coaching tips to help you both improve your running form and get you fitter and faster so you can crush those goals. Just search Wayne Calvert in Strava and follow the athlete with over 3,600 runs. You can also scan this QR code or use the link in the description to go straight through to my athlete profile. Also, why not check out my Ask the Coach training package, where you can use our training app to build out your workout calendar using over 100 of my custom built workout sessions that all sync directly onto your wearable device. You will also have direct ongoing access to me through the app for ongoing coaching and advice around everything to do with your running. In this package, you will also be able to use the pain and injury report feature, where you can notify me of any niggles or soreness that we often encounter from time to time. And by using this feature, I can look at your current training calendar and give you advice on some needed changes, and therefore you'll massively reduce your risk to ongoing injuries. I've left a link in the description for this package.